How you liking the new Minds chat, Bill?
I like it, man. It's still got a lot of work to do to integrate it more with the main app, but I think it's a huge improvement. What do you think?
Oh yeah, I love it. I love the Minds chat. I'm there all the time now.
Yeah. Mindscape is definitely planted in Minds chat. But yeah, I mean, Minds chat is interesting and fun. I actually just did a video of an old clip, and it was like in the first couple of weeks of Minds chat, and then we had everybody there, and it was a lot of good energy, and we were using it. And for me and for Imaginarium, we use it sporadically, but we always use like Slack or email, and it's like getting everybody over to use the Minds chat, and like even Curry to get him in the habit of using Minds chat as the way that we like directly communicate with each other and keep in touch, which is fun. And there was like this ongoing collaboration, which we put the music of there of eclipsing binary. So that was fun too, like having that whole thing melt together of visuals, audio, and then actually have a song get produced too within a couple of weeks using basically my chat. Yeah.
I can hear you guys now, by the way.
Nice.
Yeah, but what do you have planned for the future? What about NFTs? You guys got that coming?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, later this year. It's just a lot of things. So it's just all about building the team. You know, it's team is everything.
Oh yeah.
Developers are very scarce these days as well. There's tons of competition for the best full stack developers in the crypto space, just because everything's exploding. So, you know, we're being patient with it, but like that's everything. Everything is about community and team. So, yeah, man. But what's up, guys?
Not much, man. It's nice to have you on here. It's good to have you on here. I'm glad that you came. I really am. But I had one of my subscribers that wanted me to ask you a question about like how to handle non-plus users that that are subscribed to them, but they can't pay all their attention to them to give them because only you only get rewards if plus users interact with you. So like they're mutually sub, but they don't have time to always be on that person's page to help them out, get tokens. Like how do they handle with that? Because they do want to help them, but they can't spend that much time on that person's page and stuff like that.
I mean, yeah. So this was a change that we had to make, just because literally there's these rings of people who are coming in from all over the world, from Turkey, from Nigeria, and these are real people. These are not bots. These are literally like massive communities who are all coordinated on like Telegram, and then they go in on Minds, and they all basically tell each other to vote on each other's stuff, and like they basically some of them are actually posting like not horrible content, but others of them are just posting like total just like libraries of content that they probably got from like where I don't know, just it's not their content. And so that what that was doing was draining the rewards from all of the authentic users, and it's a really big problem. And then those people are not in it for the right reasons. They're not producing original content. They're just extracting value because and this is sort of the sad thing that I'm trying to come to terms with. People in like Nigeria, the 2 tokens a day that they can earn through engagement rewards is literally worth more than they can make working a job in their country. Like that is the reality. That's what's happening. And there, a buddy of mine, this guy Jeff, who ran this site called Uptrend, which is they actually recently shut down. but they're very sort of similar. They're more like a Steemit clone.
Okay.
But, you know, sort of in the crypto social realm, and they had to shut down because they could not handle it. It was just too much spam, and people were just, you know, extracting value, and it was not like a healthy situation. So, you know, our problem isn't like existential, but it is a problem, and I would love to figure out a way to, you know, because it's all about Sybil resistance. Sybil resistance is, you know, putting in a financial disincentive to manipulate a system or hack a system. So, you know, if people have to post some collateral or pay money, like there's not incentive for them to try to destroy a system. So that's why we needed to, you know, just sort of as a temporary fix, make it so that Plus users were the ones who were sort of helping distribute the engagement rewards. But like, I want the liquidity rewards and the holding rewards to not even require approval, and those should just all be able to get distributed directly on chain. So that's something that we're considering. But the engagement rewards are very tricky because it's a cat and mouse game. And, you know, we love them, and, you know, we've always had them, and authentic people love them, but also unauthentic people love them. So I don't really know what the answer is, to be honest. It's like, it's not really a battle that is able to be won, because there's always going to be people working tirelessly to get around the rules that we have in place. So like, I'm really curious from you guys, like, you know, what your ideas are, and kind of if you see like what type of evolution to the engagement rewards you could potentially see. Because, you know, my goal personally is I want the token to incentivize the types of activity and behavior that promotes a healthy community, not just this sort of like for like mentality, which is not, I don't think, what we're about. And I understand that, you know, that stuff can potentially signal, you know, valuable contributions, but, you know, also not necessarily. So I'm curious what you guys think.
Yeah. I actually have some really good ideas that I wanted to talk to you about, but we've been playing around with a site that I'm not going to mention right now because it's absolutely trash and the community's trash, but we've been promoting mines on there, and they play with tokens as well. And but they have a system that I think mines could really use, only they would have to implement it a lot better than the way they have it and put in some fail safes that I've already kind of balanced out. And I definitely want to talk to you about that. But you know, it's this way your creations are giving out your own channel tokens. So say I create a channel on Mines, right? And so my channel would have its own token called Mines Gaming, minted off the Mines token. And whenever somebody interacted with my post, they would get one of my tokens, right? And they could exchange my tokens for Mines.
BitClout?
Huh?
Are you talking about BitClout?
No, I'm talking about MintMe. I don't know if you've heard of them.
I think they actually hit us up. Yeah, no, I haven't used them, but yeah, like BitClout has all these sort of individual creator social tokens as well. I see why you would bring that up. It's not so simple as just like, you know, minting. I don't really know what you mean minting tokens off the Mines tokens. Like, that's not really how.
Well, what I'm saying is, like, remember when we had points, right?
Right.
So let's call my token a point instead of a token, right? My tokens are points.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so you can take my points and exchange my points for Minds tokens. And then use those Minds tokens to boost your content or, buy or donate to other channels or whatever else you want. But you're not collecting actual percentage of rewards based off anything but your interactions with other channels. So you're getting their point, for interacting with them, and then you cash that point in for your Minds tokens, and then you can use your Minds.
I don't understand how so if someone interacts with your post, you're saying that they would get your token?
They would get like a point for interacting with you.
I mean, but that's
and then they could use those points to cash in for tokens, right?
But you see how that's just, when you allow people to earn for doing something that is very easy and replicable, then it will be gamed into infinity. That's why.
Oh yeah, no. I'm as I said, we're playing with a site, and it's absolutely trash. And I can see the issues with the site, and like I definitely want to break down in a chart my idea so you understand how it would work out, and give that to you.
Sure. Yeah.
It sounds to me like would it sort of accomplish the same thing if maybe not every interaction, but every piece of content was an NFT that has its own unique smart contract?
Well, yeah. See, now you're getting into.
Oh yeah, that'd be great too.
No, I think that the NFT, the really cool thing about programming NFTs is that you can actually program like rev shares into the lifetime of the NFT. So, say you mint one on your piece of art, and then you sell it, and then that person sells it. You're always getting a cut of every transaction for the entire lifetime of it.
That's just one example, right?
Well,
the parameters of a smart contract.
Right. So I'm all about, getting NFTs in, because the cool thing is that we already have the Web3 infrastructure. You can connect your MetaMask or whatever wallet, and that ETH address is, in some cases, there's probably lots of users on Minds who already have NFTs associated with that ETH address. So you can easily display all of the, existing NFTs that you have, in addition to, minting more when you post on Minds and selling them. So we've been looking at the Rarible protocol, because it's really the primary open source protocol that exists for NFTs. It's the best one that I've been able to find so far. So definitely recommend digging into Rarible and letting me know your feedback. But
I tried to sign up, but they have like a gatekeeper system, and they haven't got back to me.
Oh, yeah, I'll check that out. But I've been using OpenSea. You don't like OpenSea?
They're not fully open source.
Okay.
Yeah,
I haven't like dug into their code that much, so yeah.
No, OpenSea they're sort of the OG, but yeah, it's some things are fully open source, but not everything. So if you can prove me wrong on that, I would like to be proven wrong, because I do think that they kind of have the most robust system.
But you can see Minds implementing a similar Rarible protocol.
All that for us to allow users to mint an NFT when they make a post is like not that big of a deal. It's probably like a 2 to 3 month project, but we have everything in place to be able to support it. We already have with the Arweave integration as well, because the NFT has to be referencing the media somewhere, which, some sites will reference like AWS, but that doesn't really make sense to have the media actually for an NFT stored on a centralized place. You can do that. And it's still an NFT, but it's just sort of an NFT with sort of an added risk profile, because
it's extra non-fungible.
Yeah.
Right.
Hope your server's working.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the NFT direction makes more sense than the individual. Well, they are individual creator tokens. They're just, not fungible creator tokens. So
yeah. I mean,
and because if we were to support creator tokens, then like the Minds token, that would just get so crazy. It would be like I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad idea. It's just
No,
I don't know if it's
I
realistic.
just was thinking right now. So the problem is, and what is being attacked is on like both ends of it. It was one side of, say, the content right now. We're talking about like individualizing more control for the creator of their content. So the entity, so that the creator, can benefit off of your creation and make it authentic. But I think on the other side, which I am viewing it, is this creator token is for communities, so that we have tools in which that the unique people that are part of these communities, that are our creators and helping these communities, have a stake, and we could quantify that via our points, our tokens, in which we exchange via our communities with each other. And as our communities gain the value, then that's what's exchanged with the other system. So we're talking about before, when you say why you picked the plus, because we have a stake in a sense we have a stake in a pool, we have a stake in Minds, and I think the way I'm thinking of the individual creator token is that kind of stake in the community, and like a way to kind of tally their efforts within that community, and then that gets rolled up into the greater like percentage of the pool, because that's how I viewed how to make a kind of a reward system for the Minds chat. I'm like, what's valuable in there is the groups, is the actual rooms, what's cool, and like the activity in the rooms. And then so the rooms are the ones fighting for shares of the pool, if we have a pool of it. But within the room, you have the monitors, and I would view those would have people that would be like, they would have the multipliers, and however you break it down. But then within it, the activity is basically the same as like Minds. You get rewards for like people interacting with your posting in there.
Yes, I definitely would like to extend the engagement rewards into chat rooms, because people are putting a lot of energy into there. But again, like, I think that we're having a hard time even keeping up with one token.
Yeah.
And so the idea of sort of splintering that into infinite tokens, and I don't even know how, because the engineering involved in like running a token is like a huge effort. So I don't even know how that would be done. Like, I don't know how we would be able to manage it. So I'm not saying it's a bad idea. Again, it's just it sounds like sort of chaos, and it just seems like a massive effort. So
chaos is fun sometimes, but no, yeah, I get what you're saying. But I think the NFTs, like, if we could create posts that were NFTs that people could buy, then I mean, you would be doing pretty much the same thing. You'd be putting out a token that somebody could buy. So
exactly, yeah. I think that's going to be much more achievable.
Yeah.
So yeah.
What about, I remember you talking about a grants idea, like an idea of having like grants for projects.
That is definitely going to be happening in probably in this next quarter. So yeah, we're going to roll out a token grants system where people can apply to
you submit a proposal and you
submit a proposal,
have like a rough budget.
Yep, and you say like, I want, whatever, 1,000, 5,000, 10,000 Minds tokens, and I'm going to create this series of art around the tokens, or I'm going to build a new smart contract that does this, or I'm going to do whatever it is. I'm going to help bring 100,000 people into the token community. Well, like it does, it whatever realm it's in, it doesn't really matter. And so, and we're going to implement a DAO that can vote on the different grant proposals. And so there's this cool sort of a protocol called Snapshot, which most token projects are using now. If you go to snapshot.org, you can see it. We're on there, but we haven't posted any votes yet. And the way that it works is you can basically, you vote with your tokens, but it's gasless. So it sees how many tokens you have. And I think you can also do votes that aren't weighted by how many tokens you have, which I actually am interested in.
Me too.
And so, yeah, so you can gaslessly vote. And then there is a new project being built with the Gnosis multi-sig crypto wallets, which are like probably the best, Ethereum multi-sig wallets. I definitely recommend everyone check out Gnosis. But there's a new thing called SafeSnap, which is a bridge between Snapshot and Gnosis. So actually the votes on Snapshot can permission the multi-sig wallet to distribute funds. So if we put 500,000 tokens for token grant proposals into a multi-sig, then we can have basically the community can vote on the proposals and permission the wallet to distribute those funds.
It's like a trust, a decentralized trust.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a DAO. I mean, it's a
DAO.
Yeah. And then there's also like bounties on Gitcoin that we're going to be doing a lot more of, both with Minds tokens and with Ether and stablecoins and stuff. And Gitcoin's amazing. Like I definitely and I'm in touch with our founders right now, and we're talking about some different collaborations. But I definitely recommend that you guys look into Gitcoin more. I think that all of you guys on this call, I think would think it's a fucking beautiful community, and there's so many like opportunities on there. It's basically like it's a bounty site. I mean, all different crypto projects post bounties for different projects, and you can claim the bounty and then get paid. It's
yeah. I'm on Gitcoin. Yeah, I'm on there. It's a pretty nice place.
Yeah. This is exactly where I kind of want the conversation to go, because this is exactly what I've always, in the beginning, thought of Imaginarium as, like this creative DAO that just has this fun that like anybody who has a good idea of a creative project could do it. Like, oh, I want to do a music video, and we
need to make our movie Dude Where's Our Wallet. That's what we want to do, Bill.
Actually, I've been writing this for Dude Where's My Wallet, which is interesting enough. This new weed shop that like opened up down the street from my house, and it's like totally kind of like shady, and it's like the perfect setting for the beginning of the movie.
You should watch as prep for that movie. You should watch The Wallet by Tim Dillon. It's a really, I don't know if you saw it.
That reminds me, I host this show once a month called Renaissance Revolution. But on the show, I had this, so Tim Dillon, this comedian dude, I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with him. He had like a parody, what do you call those? It was like a parody for a movie, movie trailer. There it is. He had a parody for a movie trailer, and it's called Wallet.
Tommy, I called you to talk about Dad and money. Dad owns 100 Bitcoins, and he's got them in a wallet on the internet.
The wallet's the internet? What the fuck are you talking about?
If we get the password, there's millions of dollars in there. Elon Musk started a new type of money.
Who is Elon Musk?
He was an astronaut, Tommy.
Well, streaming. Are you gonna do streaming anytime soon?
I want to, dude. I want to. It's really just sort of. It's just a matter of what will be the best help that anyone listening or any of you guys can give is helping us find the most talented full stack developers in the world who are inspired by what we're doing and want to get involved, because all of these things are achievable, but at the same time, I think that we need to be putting more energy into stability and finishing taking what we have and really polishing it. Like, even look at something like Minds Chat, which is great. It's working well, but there's so many ways that it needs to improve. There need to be more bridges. There need to be better notifications between, Minds Chat and Minds, which is actually technically pretty complicated because they're completely different infrastructures. So, all of the threads between those infrastructures and like being even something like linking directly to your Minds channel from your avatar in Minds Chat it's actually a lot harder than you think. It's not a matter of just adding a link, and it has to do with the way that Element was designed, and they don't make it particularly easy to customize. In fact, you have to open up a giant rabbit hole to make those changes. So but it's possible, but it just takes a lot of energy. And so I feel a responsibility and then also looking at like groups have not gotten much of any love for like the last, honestly, like couple years. And they need love and they need to be integrated with Minds Chat. And so those are that's a huge priority. Also, Boost needs love. Like, there's so many more things that we could be doing with Boost. We could be enabling you guys to serve Boost on your channel and earn money for serving Boost in your channel.
Please.
So in terms of helping us prioritize, I think we need to put the pressure on ourselves to look at all of our existing products and get them to a place where we're all just beyond stoked. And then again, I would love live streaming. It's just that's bringing in a whole new thing when even just our video feature is the upload could use work. People want to be able to post multiple images at one time. There's all of these features that people want. And so it's really that's one of the hardest things is to sort of prioritize. I'm actually looking for a tool to sort of take. I wish GitLab had this, and I don't know why they don't, but there's not really a good way to filter all of the GitLab issues by vote so that we can get more of a sense of what everybody wants done. And there might be something that we can do in on our end by importing all the GitLab issues and just like even just displaying them as one gigantic list and having the community just like go in there and vote on everything and help us prioritize.
Yeah, we definitely gotta get together and I mean, what do you think your top 2 issues with mines are right now? Yourself.
I don't know. I think there's little issues all around. I think one issue that has been bothering me is that actually when you are going to provide liquidity, once you do, it's so anticlimactic and it's not obvious like what just happened. Like there should be like confetti.
Dude, I don't know. Has anybody moved their liquidity pools to V3 Uniswap? I checked it like a week ago or whatever, and I was like, they're saying like I was gonna be like the first one, and I had to pay extra gas fee, and then I tried to check it out, and like it was way too high. I was just like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, no. I haven't tried the version 3 out yet, so most of mine just been sitting because I don't like playing with the gas fees that much.
Yeah. This and who knows what happens, but even without even getting a sponsor or anything like that, just with our own work, like setting up like for me personally, like soon I think I'll be able to is like set up some liquidity pool for Imaginarium and hopefully see how that works out, and I hope that grows. And then now we're getting a steady income of disposable mines tokens that we can use in interesting ways. And just see how it goes.
One issue that has been bothering me is that actually when you are going to provide liquidity, once you do, it's so anticlimactic and it's not obvious like what just happened. Like there should be like confetti and like a nice thing. It should just be so obvious, like, holy shit, you just literally staked into this new system that is totally decentralized, and now you're going to be earning all these tokens, and that's just not. It's explained, but it's not obvious when you're done. And it's a big process to do that because you have to pay gas. There's all this stuff going on, so it should be more clear. And I don't know if any are you guys in the liquidity pool?
I have a little bit in there, but I kind of took a little bit out when you guys locked up the rewards for base users, but I'll put some more in. And but
well, what
yeah,
I think what I will say is this: staking is by far the best way to earn tokens. Like,
oh yeah, definitely.
Just as a like, if you have and there's a multiplier on the liquidity rewards as well. So the longer you stay in, the more of a multiple. Like, if this is just like a number out of just as an example, like if you put in like 10K or let's just say $1,000 of the liquidity, like you would probably, you're earning at least a few tokens a day just for doing nothing. Doing that, like if with 10,000 in, you're earning like at least 50 tokens a day.
What's the threshold right now to where the gas prices make it worthwhile?
Well, the gas prices aren't even high right now. Okay. Gas is I think under $5 right now.
Yeah, gas is actually pretty cheap right now. It's because it was skyrocketed for a while, but yeah, it seemed to stable out. And then, but my other thought was about to unlock those members of the base users into Plus and Pro programs is that maybe for every time a user gets rewards, like 1 or 2% of those rewards go into a side chart that stacks up to unlock the Plus or Pros.
Okay, yes. So this is where I absolutely see this. Yes, this is the direction we need to go for finding solutions. The solution shouldn't be, get rid of the Plus thing, because the Plus thing is Sybil resistance, which protects the economy, and it also helps mines become sustainable. So the answer is more so not how do we get rid of Plus. The answer is how do we make Plus more accessible to everybody.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
How do we? And there's definitely too much friction, and we've had so many headaches with token subscriptions, on chain, because the problem is you cannot do monthly recurring on chain tokens, because the way that, like, Ethereum, no one in Ethereum has figured out recurring on chain token stuff. It's just no one can do it because it's sort of a nightmare with the gas, and like you don't know how much, like, because every time you do a transaction you have to pay gas and you got to go through these confirmations. And so setting up a system that's like prepped and has enough gas, and it's just, I don't know.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, because these creators, like, there are real creators on mines that are getting almost next to nothing because of this, and like they get tokens from other people and people reward them, but they make great content and real art and stuff like that, but they can't afford to just buy into that kind of program. So if we could make it some way where they could unlock it from their content, so it's like stored in a piggy bank or something, and once it reaches it, all you have to do is click a button and it unlocks it for you, and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's more so probably just reintroducing off-chain monthly Plus. So it would just be like 5 tokens a month.
Yeah, I mean, even if it wasn't recurring and you could just buy for 5 tokens, that's fine. But I mean, it's still going to take a new user. If you make a new account now as a new user, it's going to take you quite a while to accumulate those 5 tokens to get into the Plus program, because you have to get enough Plus users on your page to interact with you.
Sort of, right? But it's also like pretty easy for you or I to gift that person a pro membership.
Maybe what we should do is we should have like a whole charity pot set up. I don't know how this would, this might get abused. This might get abused, but we could.
Yeah, that would definitely get abused.
but that's sort of what you're saying, though. You're saying, like, is there a way?
First civil project,
right? But I'm just thinking of because I'm making tokens every day, no matter what, right? And if one. Nice. If 1% of my tokens that I made every day went into an unlock for Plus or Pro, every month I would be able to afford Pro or Plus.
I don't understand what you're saying. So,
okay.
I don't see how that would. I don't see how that matters.
What you're doing is you're saving them so that they can, as soon as they have enough tokens to do it, they can. But the main problem is that, like,
why do you need a new system to do that? Why can't they just save tokens and then just get it?
Because they have to spend tokens to get interactions at this point. To get, if you're a new member to Mines and you don't know anybody on Mines, how are you boosting your content?
I mean, yeah, like the thing is that I see what you're saying, but in order to create a healthy system, it's sort of like UBI, you know, like printing tokens into infinity is tempting. And like,
okay, let's turn off
why
the printing tokens for a second. I'm just saying, like, if like, I think Curry Hobo is right on track with the NFTs. I think that's probably the best route to go.
yeah, but that doesn't really solve what you're saying. I mean, that's sort of a different way to help.
But it kind of does, because if I make good content and someone buys it, now I have tokens. Whereas if I make good content now, I have to go find a plus user to interact with it.
But you could currently make a membership tier.
If nobody knows you, who's unlocking it?
Yeah, but the same would apply if nobody knows you and you make an NFT.
Not if it's good content. You can see the NFT.
That's true. That's true. It's more public. Like,
yeah,
it's not.
Well, I mean, I've been posting work to OpenSea, and I feel like nobody comes across it on OpenSea, which is like it's a really well named platform, because it's like it's OpenSea and you're a canoe, and the chances of anybody coming across your little canoe art stand is unlikely. And then there's places like Rarible who are doing more curating and taking artists that fit a certain aesthetic that like appeals to the people buying NFTs, right?
So you found it difficult to actually sell the NFTs even on the big NFT sites.
Yeah, I'm not they all have gatekeeper systems where you're submitting basically a portfolio to them, like Rarible.
The other thing, the some of the chaos that comes with NFTs that we're going to have to think about is copyright violation. You have to be really, really cognizant of that, because there's so many people who will just, sell stuff that's not theirs, and that's really not okay when it comes to NFTs.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
what I was thinking as like a weird little project, but say there is a Minds token, but the only thing different with this token, the little program in it, is that it has to be like tipped to people. So like there's like a pot of tokens that you get, but they can only be used to tip somebody. Like they're not really a token until it gets tipped. Then that's when it gets minted to that person.
Well, another idea. Yeah, that's interesting. Also, Mark really likes the idea. This is more how the BAT token handles it.
Okay,
But basically what they do is every user sort of deposits tokens into their wallet, and then just all the websites that they visit who are Brave publishers, just in the background, just get those tokens.
Yeah, get like a percentage or whatever.
Yeah, just as you're navigating around, you and I think you maybe say like how long you want the tokens to last you, but what's good about that kind of a system is that it's totally sustainable. It's like the users are putting up the tokens, which are then distributed to everyone that they visit. So it's, as opposed to, our current system, I mean, it's fine. Like we're literally, we have 250 million tokens, max forever. And, every day 10,000 are emitted, which are emitted into a combination of engagement, holding, and liquidity. And it's basically going to be running like that for roughly like the next decade. But there will come a point where that is over, and we're going to have to figure out new novel ways to like replenish the rewards pool, and that's going to have to come from the community. And
My biggest struggle with the platform right now is when I recommend it to people, they usually have iPhones and they run into some roadblocks that I think Apple has probably put up, and it's just like too cumbersome.
Well,
they
exactly.
just never fully engage.
Yeah, onboarding is probably the main focus right now. It has to be just so smooth. People have very short attention spans. Like what I find is that people who really put in the time to make it through whatever obstacles there are, get sort of hooked in quite often. But a lot of people who just don't have patience will just bounce. So we need to make that smoother. We need to make sure that the people are as quickly as possible finding content that's really exciting to them. And yeah, it's not easy. So we're going to get there, though. I think that one issue also is that because we support so many different types of content, text, blogs, photos, videos, combinations of all of the above, links, and everything, that makes it a lot harder and more jolty when you're scrolling through. Like if you compare, we're more like Facebook or Twitter in that sense, which I think most people would agree are a little bit harder to look at, just because it's not a smooth content flow. Like Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, these types of sites it's so clean and smooth, and it's like they're horrible platforms. I'm not talking them up, but like design, their design is fucking sick.
Yeah,
it's so good because of how clean it is, but they've limited the on Instagram, like every image is coming in the same size, which allows them to create these sort of beautiful feeds because they know the dimensions of everything, and they can expect it, and that's why everything is nice and symmetrical and perfect. With us, because we allow landscape, portrait, whatever you upload, it creates, we're sort of stuck, because if we crop the image to fit it into a square, then you're not seeing the whole image, which can be really annoying. And if you show the whole image, then you have these sort of like, margin panels, and that's not that's not necessarily as aesthetically pleasing, but it is more control and it's more freedom to kind of upload what you want, which is good. So, but now that we're sort of already down that rabbit hole and we're allowing all the different kinds of content, it's pretty hard to go backwards and start restricting content types, because there's always going to be someone that gets upset from that. So maybe the solution is to have more options of like types of feeds, so that you could go through a feed that is only portrait media, or only.
I think it looks fairly clean. I don't think the interface is overwhelming.
Yeah, I do too, actually.
Maybe there's a certain audience that some of the things that are very popular are popular because 14-year-olds with sugar addictions really like them. But we can't ever be that.
Yeah. It's very popular. But talking about uploading stuff, what about audio? Like I know Minds Chat has audio, which is awesome to upload, but it only has 10 megabytes, so we can't upload like our podcast to it, and it's kind of saddening to us.
Yeah, I think we can probably extend that cap. But yeah, I mean, again, it's just sort of another feature, which I agree would be great. And I would like to have it. And so it's really, what I really want to focus on is building the open source developer community and getting more because if open source developers can just build stuff and build it really well, and then open a merge request, like if it's really good, we'll accept it. So, and we need to be incentivizing in developers, because developers literally make the world go round. They are they're so powerful, and it's just crazy.
I'm just poor as fuck. That's my problem.
Dude, I hear you. I gotta take my car to the mechanic, and I'm like, I don't even know how I'm gonna pay for this brake job, but I guess we'll see.
Do you take payments in drawings?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, kind of like pushing the conversation in a different direction. I think that this near future where we can push mines in some near future is like, I don't think there's any reason why, this is the beauty of this like mines token, but the whole kind of crypto world, or the promise of the crypto world, is that we could put value on different things and kind of like quantify it and then exchange it in like a marketplace of our own creation.
I lost you.
I lost him too.
Yeah.
No offices. Curry saw the final stage of the physical office. It's all,
good riddance, but
good riddance.
At least I got to vandalize it first.
There can be a way where hopefully Curry Hobo can trade or pay for things with his drawings, and us with our creative work, we could have this exchange of our skill and creativity to kind of broaden our resources in whatever way that is.
I was sitting on the roof at a restaurant across the street, and I saw your little plants on the brick.
Some sprouts?
Yeah, some little sprouts, yeah.
Yes. Cool. Yeah. Well, you're in your home office now, right? Which is How's that working out?
Oh, it's amazing. I get to, go take breaks and play with Nova, my daughter, and But look, guys. I mean, now we just did a huge fundraise, so it's gonna
10 million. That's awesome, man. Thanks for that.
Yeah, we're not fucking around.
It's funny because of token currency and this kind of velocity of ideas and building an ecosystem based off of our creativity, our ideas, and like, can we make something that can sustain that?
The other thing that I really am thinking about is making the referral system more incentivized, because the way that we're going to grow in order of magnitude, like, yes, there could be some sort of outside influence or whatever that pops in, as we see usually happens like every 6 months, but I really think it needs to come from within. And we need to make it so worth it for all of us to invite our immediate friend networks. And like, Curtis, you were saying, you tried to get some people in, and it was like too difficult. And that's fair. However, I don't think that the incentive was necessarily there enough for you to pull them through the looking glass.
Yeah.
And so we need to. So I'm curious from you guys, like, what incentive should the referral token reward be 10x? Should it, like, what would make it worth it for you to bring in 20 of your closest friends?
Well, I actually bring like other communities on mine, but like we're working on, like I said, we're working on Mimi right now, and I don't usually use my referral link because I think it's gamed a lot.
You don't even have to use it, actually. If
Yeah.
If people just sign up through your channel or any of your content, like you still get credit.
Right, right. Yeah, I just drop my URL, and then usually if they click on it, it pops up. So, but yeah, I think the referral program is fine. I just like I'm not sure where a lot of my referrals come from that are on my list. Like I know you can like ping them. I don't know how to take them off the list. I don't know if you can take them off your list. But yeah, because I've never. They don't have any content. They don't make anything, and it's just a list of like blank avatars for my referrals. And I'm like, I don't know any of these people, so I don't really use my referral link.
If you could, those are actually some good points in there. I think that if you could actually make a GitLab issue for that, like first of all, yeah, you should be able to X them out if you want. And yeah, it's like, what does the ping actually do? I don't even know. We need to confirm that a notification is going through. Do you guys like the new notifications?
I think they should be smaller. I like the style of them, like, but it's a lot of scrolling for me because I get a lot of interactions. So like, if I have 10 posts that get interacted by different people, like to go through those 10 posts the same way I would my feed is kind of a pain. But like, I would like a little.
Or you didn't have any idea what was getting engaged.
Huh?
Before you just were going completely blind.
Right. Yeah. Where it was like it went from blank to here's everything, and so it's nice to be able to see something. But I think something a little more condensed would be a little better. And I know that's probably going to take some time, but if we could just like make it a little more condensed, so it's easier to scroll through. Yeah. But other than that, I like the tabs. You got all the tabs. I would like a membership notification because like when I offer rewards and stuff for my memberships, like if people sign up, I offer stuff for that. And like I don't ever get notified when people sign up for my memberships. Like I have to check them like once a week.
Yeah, that definitely needs to get added.
Yeah.
I wanted to say that I really like the pro page. I can send people to curryhobo.minds.com, and they have like a bunch of hashtags that I've customized, and they can look at different types of design work I do. But the only complaint with that is that there's no subscribe visible at the top. So if somebody is logged into Minds and looking at my pro page, they actually have to go to like this little tiny menu in the bottom to find subscribe. And I feel like there should be something at the top that does that for the pro page.
Right. Yeah.
That's weird. The subscribe got buried in the pro page, but
good point.
It's a good pro page other than that.
Join button is up there, but not the subscribe. Yeah, we need to put more thought into the pro stuff because it's a whole other rabbit hole.
I'm about to paint the link onto my food truck.
Oh, really?
It's going to say curryhobo.minds.com right at the front.
Nice.
Yeah, the style. I like the style of the pro pages. I wish I had one as an investor, but I don't.
There's a way that we can merge plus and pro.
Yeah, that would be nice too. Because I don't. Do you like for the pro pages? Is that based off your views as well? Do you get earnings for views as well, or is that also just interactions?
You get earnings for views if you're pro.
Yeah. You got. We got to figure something out for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like the style of them. I know, like I think it'd also be nice if you have a pro page, like if you could just. I think I actually might have saw that on somebody's where it just had a link to it.
I mean, the problem is that like when you're in the app, and you know the way that the pro pages were rendering when you're in Minds was just so jolting, you know, where everything would change, and you would lose the whole navigation, and then it like wouldn't be totally obvious how to get back. And so that's why we kind of removed that. And now the pro pages are more just like sites. But yeah, again, you know, you can see even
I do like them. Like, I know they're are you guys still offering on like to have your own node off of mines, or did you guys?
It's more so like what makes sense for a normal person. Like, yeah, like there's like a few companies around the world that are running, you know, instances of mines, but like that's an absolutely massive undertaking. Like,
That's why I was wondering if you guys were still like, because I remember when I first got on mines, you guys, I had a little my own little node page that I could run and do that, and I had like
that
10
wasn't
people.
really a node. That was that was like basically a hosted instance.
Right.
Yeah, the subdomains.
Yeah.
Those were like, you know, those were on our infrastructure. So it's not like it was really a node. It was more of just like a hosted version, which was cool.
Yeah, it was really cool.
But it was like totally fragmented, and you know, keeping everything up to date was really complicated. And so this idea that Mark floated for nodes was that, you know, we can potentially start pinning content to IPFS, and so like every channel would be able to pin all of their content to IPFS, and actually we could even build like a sort of Mines Raspberry Pi device, which people or people could use their own or whatever, and you could sort of host your own node and sort of support the IPFS system.
Okay.
That's something that is definitely possible. But yeah, it's you know, running servers is not an easy thing.
No,
it's accessible to most people.
Yeah, definitely not. No, I think that like the design has come a long way since I first got on. Definitely a really long way. I mean, when did you join, Satori? Like
2015.
Yeah,
You know,
2015, 16.
My
It might have been 16.
I signed up on my birthday actually.
Oh, did you? Nice.
July the 1st.
It was a good birthday for you then?
Yeah. It's my actual birthday, but it's also my mind's birthday. So, yeah.
I also signed up regarding a birthday. Like when my daughter was born, I think I signed up sometime that week.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Dude, who can get wasted talent back?
Oh, I don't know.
Someone has to find him. I think he got scared away by, like, you know, conservatives. I think that's what happened. I think that, like, after Trump got elected, we got sort of, you know, somewhat of a wave of like conservative free speech people. He was like, okay, no thanks.
Yeah.
When we talked to Douglas Rushkoff some months ago, he kind of wrote the platform off as a conservative, like thought bubble or something.
Yeah, even in the beginning, I felt like
I think this is like the friendliest community I've been on since I've been online. Like but
it has a reputation among some people.
I mean, I think I've talked to Doug a bunch, and I think that he sort of said that to me as well. But I you know, as a media theorist, you know, and I've said this to him, but it's like, why are you letting the two hit pieces from Vice impact like your perception? And maybe I don't know, maybe he did log in and see some, you know, some trolls, and I
know he was using it for a couple months, like,
Billy, you in any movies? What's your favorite movie?
I don't know about favorite movie, but maybe some recent movies that I have liked. I've been watching all the A24 stuff, which is a little bit hipster, but
Yeah.
awesome. Like there's so many good ones. I've just been going through that whole list. Like what was a good one? Have you seen The Night Of?
No, what's that about?
It's really good, and it's with this actor who was also in Nightcrawler. Have you seen Nightcrawler?
Oh yeah, definitely.
You know the kind of friend who doesn't he get killed in the end?
Yeah.
Riz Ahmed. Yeah, so he's also in The Night Of, and The Night Of is like a mini series of sort of this guy who gets meets this girl and like gets hammered, and the next day he wakes up and she's dead, and it's just like crazy story about like criminal justice system, and it's really good. But I've been watching a bunch of stuff that's The Sound of Metal. He was also in.
Okay.
Have you seen The Sound of Metal?
Yeah, I've seen that. That's good, actually. I like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I've been going through some of his stuff, and then I'm trying to. What's a movie that has made you cry recently?
What's a movie that's made me cry? Oh man. When I was in high school, I don't know. I forgot the name of it. It was about this boy that got lost on a boat, and he ended up like going down this waterfall, and the boat cracked. Anyways, he ended up being stranded in the woods for like days, and he was only like 5 or 6. And some wolves found him and like took care of him, and then like a year later, his family found him. Yeah, it was really sad. So.
Dude, you haven't cried in movies since high school? I cry in movies like every 2 weeks.
It's been a while. I mostly like action films now, and they're not very sad. So.
Wait, which one, Kerr?
I was watching Luca with my daughter, and she started bawling right at the end because the characters love each other, and they put in this just like sad piano, and the raindrops are falling in the pot, and she's not even 3 yet, and she's like, blah, and then I started tearing up just to like see how deeply she felt for the characters.
Aw,
nice.
Yeah, Nova has been obsessed with Luca for the last 3 days as well.
Yeah.
So. Disney Plus algorithms.
I showed her Soul too, which is really challenging for like conceptually, but yeah,
it's crazy. Like you think you're showing your kid you're like, oh, it's just a animated film, like no big deal, they'll have fun, and then they'll get so scared or sad over things because those movies can definitely be emotional. And
I wanted to film her bawling and send it to Pixar. Like, look what you turned the dial too far on the scene, guys.
So they could use it in a movie and not pay you, right? What about games? You play any games, Bill? You a gamer? You play any games, man?
I play chess.
Oh, really? We'll play some chess, definitely. We can play some chess.
I've been teaching my daughter chess. She's getting good at it. She's doing this chess camp on chess.com.
Oh yeah.
And I think they messaged me. I think they're on. I gotta figure out. It would be cool to do a partnership with them. I think chess.
Oh yeah. I was thinking about that the other day. Like, what
gamble
are your thoughts on that, by the way? Like, if people could take their tokens and use them to play a game, like if I could take my tokens and bet 3 tokens to play you in chess, and then if you win, you take my 3 tokens, and if I win, I take your 3 tokens.
That's hilarious. I like it.
Yeah, there's this one interesting site called Relevant, which I think it's relevant.community, I want to say. And they are a crypto social site. And they do this thing where you basically, they only have like 10 feeds on the whole site. So it's sort of like, you know, curated communities. It's more like Reddit in the sense of, you know, there's a set number of feeds around certain topics, and certain people in those feeds have or can earn reputation. But what you do is you bet on if you think a post is going to make it to the top of the feed. And it's a zero stakes betting. So you don't lose your money if you're wrong. But if you're right, then you earn more reputation, which I think is a really interesting idea, because it's like sort of this predictive system where people are incentivized to sort of sweep through all of the new content and bet on what is going to become, you know, popular or like quality. It seems like it seems like a good idea, because
I mean, I could see a couple, like the first thing I would say is I would just bet on everything, right?
but you can only
I'm not
bet
losing
for how many
anything.
tokens you have.
Okay, but I'm not losing tokens though, right? If it
Well, you're losing them for the period of time, like a day. I think it's like one day you have to wait until you're either right or you get them back.
I gotcha.
Mhm.
So you're not going to bet on everything, because then you won't have tokens to spend on other bets. You're only going to bet on this best stuff, because those tokens are held until it's
Right.
known or not. Okay, I gotcha. Yeah, I like that. That's not
Yeah,
bad.
I think we need to incentivize people to really help us surface the best content on the site. Like, there should be a reward for accurately finding the best stuff. And there's not really enough incentive to like dig through the site and find the best stuff. Like, even if you do that and then you upvote it, comment on it, like, you're not really getting anything for that. Like, but if we can sort of get the whole community to be excited to sift through everything, find the great stuff, and also find the bad stuff, or, you know, illegal stuff, and report that and send that to the jury, but then get rewarded for being accurate, you know, that's what starts to develop a system where, you know, the quality stuff, like Minds Gaming, what you're saying about how like great creators will sign up, and then, you know, maybe they post a bunch of art and then they bounce because they didn't really get much, you know, they weren't able to get tokens to boost, so they couldn't really get out of their little bubble.
Yeah.
But if the whole community was super incentivized to find all of the unknown creators.
Can you imagine if your remind was worth more depending on at what stage in the growth of that content you reminded it? So if you're an early reminder, it's like, wow, you really can earn something.
Yeah. I think that, I've always liked the concept of, like, if I remind something or quoted something, then I get a cut, and then they get a bigger percentage, and then it kind of rolls downhill to them, because I'm promoting them, and like they probably don't have anything and they need it, and you know, all I'm trying to do is get them out there. And yeah, it's probably gonna help my channel because it might give me a sub because I'm reminding good content, but I don't really get rewards for that anyway. So
yeah, I think there's something to be said for that. If you remind something early in its life and then it hits a certain threshold, then, you know, maybe it's not even necessarily tokens that you earn. Maybe, like, because we need to start phasing in some sort of a reputation system, because tokens. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, I was thinking of somehow extra multiplier for that day would be if you like say you remind that post of a new user, there's a threshold of how early they're on, you know, like in Steam or whatever, they had like guppies and, you know, different stages of new users or whatever. But say they're in that new stage and you remind that stuff and it reaches whatever threshold of it going out, then you get a multiplier that day of one time, or whatever, you know, a viral multiplier or
Yeah, that makes sense.
and we lost Bill's video feed, but no, don't go.
I don't know how that happened. Can you hear me?
The
Oh,
other
okay.
thing I was thinking is the other thing I was thinking is ratings. Like, if you could go to somebody's channel and rate how much they've helped you promote content or helped you in minds in general, like out of, you know, whatever scale, 1 to 5, 1 to 10, like how much they've helped you get promoted, that can build your reputation. You know what I mean? But of course, that's easy to manipulate as well. So get like 30 friends to all just rate you as high as possible. So that's the only problem with it.
I mean, that, you know, we can't do that. It's like Amazon 5-star ratings, like, or Yelp. It's like, it's not really the direction that it just becomes a back rubbing, you know, I rub your back, you rub mine. Like,
yeah, exactly. Sub for sub, man. Sub for sub.
Sub for sub. That is what you need to avoid. The reputation needs to come from proof of contribution in a way. Like, you know, I like this idea of like being able to identify, you know, really good quality content. Like, if you're the first person, like, if you guys can help develop
a curator multiplier or
something. It's a curate, but it's not necessarily a multiplier. I mean, maybe we could add a multiplier in there on your engagement rewards if you hit a certain level of like curatorial reputation.
Well, okay, this will go into like the NFTs, right? So like but it's somewhat reversed. Like if you're help find, because their channels, like Mine's Gaming, you know, in the sense he's a curator of gaming videos as part of his channel. Yeah, but you know, so they get a percentage of their points that content like gets if it goes, let's say, viral or something like that. Because I was thinking of this too in my sense of like I wish that I could say have that NFT and program a couple of collaborative content via Imaginarium, and then have that like paid out via, we have a percentage. Curry Hobo gets 20% of it, Satori D gets 50% of it, and 30% goes to Meg, because we all, like, I'm sorry, Curry. Meg has more clout than you.
You need to cut that down a little bit more, Satori D. I don't know why he gets so much. I didn't get anything in that conversation.
Because you were part of pulling the Cosmic Trigger, so it's before this episode. So you don't get any cut of that.
Fine.
But you know,
I'll just cry myself to sleep now.
Of like not sharing, but like getting this is like a advanced referral system of like you getting somewhat of a percentage of that.
Yeah, I think we need to do
value of that content.
We need to find a way to be able to, you know, to distribute other than just wiring and trying to guess how much everything is, you know, worth to each other. It's like, this is how much it did, this is how much it earned, this is how much, you know, you should get for everybody that's done it. Because when you're making collaborative projects, you want to give everybody that did something for their work, and it's really hard to do that right now without just using the wire button, and then you're like, did I give them enough? I don't really know. And then you also got to worry about if you have enough tokens to send them. So. Well, probably not Satori. Satori's got plenty. So.
Cool, guys. Well, I gotta hop in a few.
Big
But
deal.
this has been
Yeah. We got to wrap up.
let's not lose track of kind of where I think this curation incentive really important, because if people are empowered and given reason to find the best stuff on the site, then the better content is going to nice.
Sorry, Bill. Go on.
Then those creators are going to earn more because they're going to be more visible. And maybe if you can consistently identify content in certain that trends in certain hashtags, then maybe you could earn reputation in that tag, and maybe even have potentially more voting power in that tag.
I love the hashtag idea, because that's how I run my operations to remind
That's
stuff.
the power of Minds Gaming.
Yeah.
His power is in the hashtag.
That's right. Just you'll see a bunch of people on there, different people. So go check it out.
No, I was just gonna say, but to wrap things up and to further this point is that it's up to us in this sense, us, the community, us, even Imaginarium, us, Minds Gaming, to start really focusing in on the ideas that inspire us, and then like broadcast that out and see what that attracts. Because like that curation idea is something that me and Minds Gaming do just like naturally and part of our own communities. But in this sense of like, okay, since how we do it, like what are some of our ideas, and then we have a show, but then also back it up with more of like a blog, and then like saying this is what our thoughts about this, and this is what this is, and keep on further growing these ideas, just like what you were saying, Bill, about you guys on the dev side building out and smoothing out some of the layouts and other things to make it really smooth, but us on the community side in the same sense of getting these ideas that we think are important or valuable, and then have this kind of synergy between us.
Yeah, for sure. I think like those are the types of posts I love to see. Like if you geek out on some new creator reward or curation reward that can sort of, I just try to think high level on the whole community. What is going to inspire people to just find the best stuff?
Yeah.
If everybody has a reason to find the best stuff, then everything's going to come to life, because and you're going to want to go search through obscure feeds and hashtags to potentially earn some reputation in that
dustbin
area.
Reputation. I'm thinking about like people that go into like thrift stores and try to find obscure vinyl.
Ooh,
that's the person that we want to incentivize to like go and dig in like dead posts and stuff like that.
I like that analogy a lot. Yeah, and because the reason that people do that, going to pawn shops and Goodwill and going through all the records, it takes a lot of work, but the reward is super high. So if you because if you find an original album,
a rare gem,
rare gem, and so if you compare that to feeds, if you're in the music feed and you find some random user, even if it's like a 3-year-old user, there should be a way that you could go and find that really, because this is one thing that TikTok does actually very effectively. They don't think about time on TikTok. Like Twitter is like all about time and like is it recent and relevant. TikTok is like I think for a while they weren't even showing on the post when it was made, because it doesn't matter. Like, why do you care if someone, you know, doing a funny dance was, you know, a year ago or yesterday? Ultimately, if it's great content, it doesn't really matter. Like when you go on Netflix, you don't care if a movie was made like 3 years ago or today. So if you can go into the feed, find that gem, surface it, then that person gets alerted that their content from a long time. Like, we need to be better about alerting people when their stuff is trending.
Yeah.
And then like for in terms of like what that reward would be, I do think that earning, like, what I didn't like about Steam It was that you could just buy voting power.
Yeah.
And, you know, just based on how many tokens you had, that meant you had more voting power. But I sort of like the idea, if you're spending a ton of time in a specific group of hashtags, or, you know, one, and you find that great stuff that trends and you remind it, then you should maybe earn a little bit more voting power so that when you vote on things, it can rise up the feed a little bit easier. Maybe that would make sense.
Yeah. Cool. That's a good part to end it on. Thanks for your time, Bill. And
thanks, guys.
Yeah, thanks for being on the show. Thank you so much for coming. We'll wrap up here. And,
rock on. Have a good night.
We'll see you guys again. Hopefully we can have you on again, Bill. We would love to have you on again sometime. He was like, bye.